Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to XO19. And I am so excited to kick off the panels where I am joined from Nexon, Kartrider Drift DS producer, DS Troy, and also Chris Van Hook, the marketing director. Thanks so much for joining us. It was amazing.
Thanks for having us.
It was amazing last night, seeing that trailer on Inside Xbox. How was it?
It was really, really great. I think, again, thanks for Xbox for being a great host. I think it was a really amazing reveal. Saw a ton of beta registrations yesterday, and a really exciting esports match. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because everyone can go start signing up for the beta for the game right now, can't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
So, also, on the show last night, we got to see that esports match, that 1v1. Like, how was that for you to have people see it for the very first time?
Oh, it was very nerve-wracking for me, very much. Because, I mean, like, anything can go wrong, and, like, anything, like, all that kind of stages. But it was pulled off beautifully for me, and it was really, really well done. And actually, when seeing the race and being actually presented to everyone at the same time, and, like, actually seeing how people were actually watching it, that made me really, really happy.
Well, it's the amazing gameplay as well. There were like so many like small little, like from my perspective, there were so many small details in the way they were moving around the map. The gameplay looked amazing.
Yeah, I think for me, whenever I'm watching pros player, I will never be able to do that level of drifting, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so beautiful to watch.
Yeah,
but only for like right perspective. I think sometimes you might not be able to see it, but it's like all the skills are condensed to perform a beautiful line, which is just, you know, so beautiful to watch.
Well, I think we can see that with some of the gameplay that we've got going on screen. Just the way that players kind of will drift into corners to really take advantage of the game mechanics. Because we're talking backstage about the number of ways that pros can drift around the map.
Yeah, and this is the meta of the game. Basically, the game's designed to perform in certain ways, but I think pro players have been able to play so much to the point where they're now actually being able to figure out their own ways of driving even better and drifting even better. Because the game's all about drifting, they're somehow actually figuring out a way to drift in the straight lines as well, and also go faster, which is amazingly hard to do. But if you do it right, then you can actually go faster than any other people.
Just drifting straight down the straight line.
And be faster than people who are just accelerating.
It's a thing, and when we saw that pro matchup, it was the small details in terms of the way that they navigated around the maps, which look beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, I think the environment's a really strong part of the game.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, if you look at it, it's Unreal Engine 4 graphics. I think, like on Xbox, 4K resolution, Xbox One X enhanced. It looks beautiful. Yeah, super great.
Also, one thing on the maps as well, is there like kind of secret routes that people can take advantage of, or is there kind of like is it like straight circuit?
Oh, no, there's definitely a lot of those things, actually. And I mean, I'm pretty sure some players even find ones that the development team was never intending to do. But the ones that that we made it into the game for is that more risk-reward kind of scenarios. Some of those actual shortcuts are much harder to pull off, but it shaves a lot of time.
Is that something that you'll see like pro players do during a race? If they're behind, they've had a bad start, and it's a high risk.
Yeah.
But they'll do it to try and get back in the race.
Yes, that actually definitely happens. And if you actually mess up on that, that becomes a bigger problem for them because, like, hey, now you lost more than like 5 seconds in total.
Yeah, totally high risk, high reward. Yeah.
And we've also got to see various new modes.
Yeah.
With the announcement yesterday. So we have the first mode we got to see was item mode. Can you tell us a little bit about what item mode is and what players can expect to experience?
So item mode is basically our version of a kart racing game with items. And basically, you're on a track and you're breaking one of these boxes and then getting the item inside, using that item to attack, or doing a rock, scissors, paper kind of thing where you're actually defending against or expecting what to come and then queue up the defense item. A good example for this would be probably a UFO item. So when you actually get a UFO item and use it, the opponent will basically be abducted by the UFO in the air. And but the better thing about this item is that you can actually do an anti-UFO as a person who's being affected by it. Oh, the video's playing.
So is it the person calls in the UFO and then it'll go to the first play?
So this actually basically slows you down, and this gives you a chance to actually win over like that. But the benefit of having an anti-UFO is, so shield doesn't block it. Do we have a footage?
I think we're going to see. So
No,
the
I
UFO
think
comes
it-
in,
yeah.
and then we kind of see him getting abducted. And is it like if they've got the anti-UFO,
You shoot it up, and then the UFO gets basically shot down and can move away from you.
But is there still a skill ability with that? It's not you just got the item, you still have to time it correctly.
I mean, a lot of it
Yeah.
is like paper, rock, scissors, right? It's like knowing the exact sort of item to counter the item that's being used against you, as well as kind of that split-second time. And I think for me, like playing the demos yesterday and playing some people that came by, like again, just like I missed it by a split second. I was like, no, I was in first place and I just lost. Yeah.
It's like that heartbreaking moment. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get across the line. I'm gonna cross the line, and then this UFO comes, and you're like,
I
oh
know.
no, everyone's just gone past me.
Yeah, but the first place player will actually be getting a lot of anti-UFOs and shields, so you can actually anticipate those kind of attacks. And especially if you're the final lap, you should be able to queue up all those items correctly. And we also have an item exchanger, so you can get up to 2 items, or different cars maybe have different item numbers you can get, and you can actually switch it to the tiles so that you actually queue up the right item that you're expecting to have hit you.
So we saw the UFO. There's also a barricade item, which how does that work?
As you're seeing on the screen, basically you put up the 3 barricades in front of the players, or for the top player. And the benefit of this item actually is that you're actually putting up 3 walls for everyone, meaning even if one hits and then breaks up the barricade, the other barricades are going to be still remaining. That's going to be catching other people.
So it can stop 3 players in one go. And I'm guessing you take advantage of that bit where you know you're calling it, so you'll kind of veer into places you know the barricades aren't going to go.
Yeah, so if you're actually expecting that you're going to be being attacked, maybe you want to be on a like slightly right or slightly left lane because, you know, barricade's going to be right at the center of it, and there are some small gaps in between. So you're expecting it, then you can maybe able to swivel around it, but that's all the skills that it requires you to do.
And the thing about it too is like anytime DS describes the barricade, he's like, I can get 3 players with it, and he has this like smirk on his face about it.
It's just like that thought going like, I'm behind, but I've got a barricade. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we've got one of the other items that we've seen being used is the water bomb.
Yes.
Right. So we've got some gameplay of that right now. How does that work?
Basically, you throw a bomb to a certain distance in front of you, and the better part of it is that basically this actually captures the area. It's AoE. So unlike other attacks where it actually gives you the being attacked queue, this one doesn't have a queue because literally it's bomb coming at you within a 1 second time.
Yeah.
And so if you're really good at it, you might be able to get a whole group of people at that right moment so that you can actually basically overthrow them really easily from that.
And that's what we saw yesterday on one of the demos. Is like basically there was someone that was in 4th place, right near the finish line. Perfect ice bomb, went from 4th to 1st in a matter of seconds. Yeah.
And that's the most satisfying thing when it happens to you and you're like the person that's just done it and you go past everyone and you're like, yes.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you see for the other 3 that it's like, what's just happened?
I know.
Yeah, and I mean, there are ways to escape it. Yeah, if you actually tilt your joystick really fast, that means you're going to be able to escape it a little faster. And as you've seen on the screen.
I think that just goes back to us seeing the pro players play yesterday. There is that level of skill and skill curve that you can get better at this game. The more you play, the more experience it, the more you learn the maps, the more you learn about how to use the items.
Yeah.
What else can you expect other players to kind of take advantage of?
I think one of the other items that we actually see being used often, and the thing that I hate the most would be the magnets. Because magnets are something that doesn't actually affect me, but if being used against me, I'm just being used. Basically, I'm being used as a pole to slingshot in front of me, and I have nothing I can do other than like queue up some attack items maybe to actually get you again.
Yeah, no, and Chris, what is your least favorite item as well? So, Joy's is the magnet. What do you really, what's the least one?
I mean, I think, again, the barricades, because I think for me, it's like split-second timing to get the right sort of little niche through there. And I think, again, it's like split-second timing to get through there, and there's really a lot of skill, yeah.
No, and how do you expect players to kind of use their items? They have multiple items and they use them. Do you see them like kind of stocking them up or like for certain areas, or do you kind of like just throw them at will?
I think if you're better at it, you would definitely stock up more items, just 2 items, and like maybe I'll always keep 2, and then right before I'm breaking another box, I'll be using that so that I'm freeing up, so that I'm seeing my chances with it. But I mean, I've had chances where basically like 4 items came all at me, and I was able to defend 2, and then also got a next shield right after that, so I was able to like defend up to 3 items. At least I still got hit by 4th, but at least I was able to defend a lot of it to make sure that I was still actually going to come out closer to winning right at the end of the match.
That's amazing. Also, so that was item mode.
Yeah.
We also have the more competitive mode, which is speed mode. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so speed mode is all about boosters, and the booster item exists in the item mode as well. It's just that in this speed mode, the only item that's available is booster, and the way you earn it is drifting more. Basically, if you're driving slowly or just driving, you do get the booster gauge filled up. But when you're drifting, it fills up much faster. And what it actually happens is that you're actually getting that booster item and that you can use at any point that you want.
It goes back to as well, like those pros, like just drifting in straight lines and just kind of getting like going fast and just accelerating.
Yeah.
And they're getting boosts as well.
Yeah, I mean, the main difference here is that people don't think, or general people might not think that you're supposed to be drifting while boosting. And that's, I think, the biggest difference between the pro players and the regular players is that basically pro players are able to be drifting almost every single moment so that you'll be getting all the booster items so that you're going to be constantly boosting throughout the full match.
Yeah, and on the original game, I mean, the thing is there's so many different drift techniques. The same thing for this Kartrider drift as well. I mean, not only sort of that one drift technique, it's basically what's the right one for that track, what's the right one for that turn, that moment. Yeah, there's a lot of skill, here, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've also got to say, the amount of customization in this game is unbelievable and has a big impact as well. Can you tell us about the customization in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of options to basically personalize to no end. We have characters that you can choose, basically characters that, of the options and choices, but each characters have different skins that you can apply to them. And those levels of skins that you can apply are going to be a lot of them. You're seeing some of them right now on the screen.
I love that hat.
Yeah, and there's a lot of emotes that you're seeing actually doing and performing too. Those kind of things you can actually basically set it on different kind of moments for like a winning race or like losing or forfeiting or like all those kind of moments can have different emotes applied to them. And we already have a lot of them actually also prepared for each of the characters.
And I think the great thing about it is being a free-to-play game, being a live service, we're constantly having updates, constantly adding content. And then every season we have a ton of content coming in. So that means new carts, new characters, new emotes, new booster trails, everything coming in constantly. Yeah.
And you might be able to just see some of it, but like cards can be customized from like the front and the middle to end of the chassis, as well the tires and the booster trails. And also the colors and the wrappers around it is something that you can customize, and sometimes you make it your own versions of it too.
And is that going to change the performance of the cart at all, depending on the stuff you choose? Or
all those customization for the cart part is going to be mostly cosmetic.
Yep.
But the carts themselves, the generic stats of each carts are going to be off the carts. So those are the ones that are the game changers a little bit here and there. And there's probably some carts that are better for certain tracks. So you got to really notice the sort of, think about it and be strategic about what you choose. Yeah.
I think that's what I'm loving. The more I learn about this game is the amount of depth and like the kind of that skill curve that you can have from like different skill play. The more you play the game, the more you learn the maps and the how to approach different situations is going to affect how you set up for each race.
I mean, it's definitely that kind of case where, especially for the speed mode, even for item mode, it's all the rock, scissors, paper for playing the game that you're playing. But for the speed mode, it's really about the tracks and how well do you know it. Because like, let's say there's like more than 20 different drifting techniques, but you need to do that in a quick succession to do and find out exactly which drift technique you should be utilizing for that particular turn, and right next to what another one. So it's almost a combination of those things at right succession to make it a successful turn and successful run of an actual track.
Yeah, and also just one thing as well is, are there certain items that can only be used for certain cards?
Yeah, there will be those kind of cases as well. Like, so
Yeah.
basically, item card specialization is basically you might be getting some kind of immunity to certain items, or you might be actually getting some different cosmetic effect applied to your item that you're placing onto the ground. So that's the special part about what the item cards are, whereas speed cards are basically more customizable to the chassis part, and also different stats that's more relevant to the actual speed matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, one of the most important things with any game is the fans. What are you most excited for fans to kind of experience and play with Kartrider Drift?
I think it'll be the acceleration and drifting. Like, the fact that I'm able to make 180-degree turns over and over again with ease, and having that actual be a cool experience is the part that I'm actually most thrilled about, and I think people would love. And it just feels, and the game has much faster speed than most of the other like racing or kart racing genre games. So I think that's where it really feels like it's a speedy racing game, rather than it's not just a arcade easy game for any people.
Yeah, and for me, like, I think the history of the game, I mean, the game has been around, the franchise has been around for 15 years, 350 million global players, huge esport overseas. I'm really excited to bring this to console, because again, I mean, the game's free to play. Anybody can pick up and play. You know, no platform barriers. You can play with your global buddies from console to PC. I think it's super exciting, you know, and we're really excited to bring it to Xbox.
And it's free to play.
I know. Is it free? Is it free?
There's no barrier there, right?
It is right.
Yeah.
So everyone at home who's watching as well, do make sure you sign up for the beta, because it is, from what I've played so far, it's so much fun. And have you got any advice or tips for people who are looking to be first as much as they can? What can they do to kind of get that gold trophy?
So, a lot of people might not know about this part at the very starting of the game, but if you actually throttle right at the second when it hits 0 and say go, you actually get a small boost. So it's almost like, oh, you're going to be on the first place if you're the only one knowing the line.
Yeah.
The fact is that most of the people will know, though, by that time.
So do you just do it as soon as it hits 0?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right at the moment you're supposed to start, just do it right at that time, then you're actually going to get a small boost. And also, even on each of the drifts, basically by the time exactly when the drift ends, you have about 0.5 seconds to actually release your throttle and then put it again, and to get another small boost. Those two combined, basically, you're seeing that right now. If you're drifting and boosts.
So straight away, so if you get time around the corner perfectly, you can just get a boost and get ahead of your opponent.
And then use a big boost, and then drift it again, and then boost another, and then big boost.
It's like chaining your items together as well,
Exactly.
just kind of using them. Have you got one last thing that you would like to say to fans to kind of about Kartrider Drift to get them excited and make them go sign up for that beta?
Sign up for beta.
Sign up for the beta, go and experience it for yourself.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, no, I'm really buzzing for it. I'd just like to say a big thank you as well for coming here and speaking to us through it. And once again, do go sign up to that beta. It's, as we've learned, it's absolutely free. You can go do it. So big thank you, Joy and Chris, for speaking to us.
Thanks a lot, man.
But yeah, there we go. That is the first of our panels here at XO19. Once again, go sign up for that beta, and we will see you very shortly for another panel. So thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks a lot.
much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.